I click New Document, NTSC Digital Video 720 by 480 with guides, and click OK. And Photoshop adds some safe title preview guides for me. However, I've never been crazy about these guides. You'll see very faintly that we're using guides, these little lines that don't show up when you print or save the graphic, but are there for alignment. I've never been a big fan of these. I like to have an actual dedicated safe title overlay. Well, fortunately, I was able to work with Adobe this time on Photoshop CS2. And working together with Dan Brown, we came up with some actions specifically with the Photoshop video users in mind. Where are these actions? They're built in. All you need to do is call up your Actions palette, and let's just pull that out here. And you'll see mine are already loaded, Video Actions. But if you go to the flyout menu, just pick Video Actions. Don't be offended, it's at the bottom of the list, but you'll notice the list is in alphabetical order. So video comes at the end of the list here. Now, there are several actions. Actions for slideshows, actions to create alpha channels, actions to do broadcast safe adjustments that are much more gentle than Photoshop's built-in NTSC color filter. Let's take a look at the Safe Title Overlay action. All you do is select it and click Play. I press Play to run the action, and it tells me that this should be run on a document that's sized for the video screen. Obviously, Photoshop doesn't know if you have a video document open. However, this action is designed not to work on just one particular canvas size, but on any video size document. After all, the action safe area is 90% of the visible screen, and the title safe area is 80%. This action takes that into account and builds an overlay guide. Watch. I click Continue, it loads the colors up, and creates a title safe and action safe box. Notice, it's all on one layer. It put it at the top of the stack, and it even labels them for you, title and action. Now, this goes without saying, but before you save off that graphic to put it on the television screen, remember to turn off your title safe guide. This doesn't replace the built-in title safe guides, it's just a complement. If you're used to working in an old school method of having an actual layer for your title safe area, well, now it comes built in with Photoshop, and I'm glad that we were able to put it in there. Let's take a look at a few more actions. Dan Brown from Adobe created a brilliant Interlace flicker removal filter. And what it really is a combination of using Photoshop's built-in filters to create a combo filter for removing interlace. I'm working with an NTSC test image here, and if you'd like to practice with this image, you could find it on the website photoshopforvideo.com. This is just a practice image that helps show several of the problems inherent with video graphics. Right now, we're going to remove flicker. Images with really fine detail are prone to flickering on a television screen. Fortunately, we've got a new built-in action to remove that flicker. I select the layer with the flicker. In this case, it's this rocky crags with lots of fine detail. I select the interlace flicker removal, and I press play. It says this works best on a flattened image, or you're going to have to run it on each layer. Not a problem. Click Continue. Photoshop goes through now and creates several layers to basically refine where the flicker is. And look, it's done already. Photoshop now can go through and remove flicker. Let's take a look at the original image and the new image. We'll zoom in here so you can see this better. Here's the new processed image, which has been softened a bit. Here's the original image. Now, we're at a 500% magnification here, so there's a bit of pixelization. But notice how some of the finest, tiniest details, which are problematic for a television screen, have been smoothed over, while the general image still maintains its focus and crispness. This is a great solution when you're getting interlace flicker on a TV graphic. Let's take a look at the rest. The other actions are designed to fix other common problems. For example, we've added broadcast safe luminance, which goes through and adjusts for any luminance issues that would keep your graphic from being broadcast safe. I click and I hit continue. An adjustment layer was added, clamping the graphic to the range of 16 to 235, which is equivalent to 601 levels. Nice, easy adjustment. It keeps the adjustment layer on top, and as you continue to work with the graphic, it still stays broadcast safe. You add this at the very end, and you make sure that the graphic looks good to you on your computer monitor. When you adjust for broadcast safe luminance ranges, the graphic will appear washed out inside of Photoshop. However, when you send it to the NLE program and then put it out to a television, the black and white point will be restored and the graphic will have broadcast safe levels for luminance. But you know that luminance is only part of the problem. We also have to compensate for saturation. For that, we've added another action for broadcast safe saturation. I click and it says that this should be run on the topmost layer, and I click continue. The image goes through and it looks for colors that are outside of the video safe range. It then uses those colors to create a selection mat and then applies a reduced saturation adjustment layer only to those areas that were originally problematic. Click continue, and let's bring the layers palette over. I'm going to make my palette options change and make the layer thumbnails bigger so you can see this better. And what I want you to notice is that there's an adjustment layer here for hue and saturation. And we have a layer mask attached to that. This layer mask indicates that the only problem area was the logos in the bottom corner. We've now adjusted the saturation on the red and yellow, making that broadcast legal. If you run this action and there is not a layer mask attached, you don't see any black in your layer mask, throw the adjustment layer away because your original image was broadcast safe for saturation. This adjustment layer only works if there's a problem. If there's no problem in the layer, throw it away so it doesn't overcompensate.